So it's been fantastic to watch you this year fighting back at the front in your rightful position. Are we daring to dream of win number 106 coming, maybe even this weekend?
It's a bit too close for that probably. It's only race 3 and we've only just got a podium after.
The car's obviously great to drive. How much are you looking forward to this weekend? And if I can ask, what was the reception like in Yokohama when you stepped out of the F40 and everyone realised it was a 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton in there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously there's lots of different views on this year's generation of car, but I mean, for me it's just exciting that it's a new era for the sport. I think every time it has been a new era, it's always been exciting to see where people come out, and I'm proud of the team, the work we've done over the last year to get us to this point and be closer to the front and in the battle. I think is really a showing of the amazing work the team's done. Of course, there's bits that I don't love, like the deployment and the lift and coast, some things that we happen to do, and SM, it's all not ideal, but racing-wise, it's been really, really fun. That race I had with Charles just in the second race was one of the most fun races I've had, I think. Other than that was maybe me and Nico in Bahrain many years ago. So I just hope we get more of that, because that's what racing's about. It's like back and forth, rather than one take and then it's over. So I personally enjoyed that. And my point that I was making earlier is that in karting, it happens in karting all the time, back and forth. No one ever calls it yo-yo racing. It's real racing. So whoever's coming out with that is, yeah. That's it. And then Tokyo was really.
So Max, here we are at sunny Suzuka track. You've dominated since its return to the calendar in 2022. What's the optimism levels like of maintaining that streak this weekend? The weather's in play. Could mix things up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think about the previous years, because every year is different, before you start driving here. And we have to be realistic, of course, that we are nowhere near that kind of level at the moment. So I just go into the weekend and see where we will be.
On the F1 side, I want to ask whether the April break will help with understanding the car. And on the non-F1 side, we carried the Nürburgring race, and congratulations to you and your teammates. I know there was the mess up, but that wasn't affecting the result, if you see what I mean. Well, I mean, it did affect the result, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And your thoughts and how that was and how much you enjoyed that.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I hope that we can use that break as a little bit of the break will be good. And yeah, I mean, for me, Nordschleife was fantastic. Every time I jumped out of the car, I was just smiling, just having a good time, enjoying driving with my teammates as well. They're great guys, funny guys, fast guys. But yeah, at the same time, getting up to speed for the 24. A lot of things that I need to learn. Same in like a driver swap, where initially my teammates were telling me a bit what to do, because I mean, normally I jump out of my car and I get helped in as well with the belts. Now you have to work together a bit, and I never did stuff like that. Okay. So I really felt like a rookie in that sense. But yeah, good experience. Of course, a shame that we got disqualified, but it was just in the pit stop practice basically that we were trying in qualifying. By mistake we just put another set on the car when we were doing out-ins. So that's not ideal, but it didn't take away, of course, our performance in the race, which was good. I was happy with that, and of course I would rather have it happen now than in the 24. Sure. So I'm sure that the team now will check everything double, but it's a really good group of people, smart people involved, and I'm sure that we can do a good job.
Coming to Suzuka, iconic track, iconic races, great battles here. But how do you think that the racing will now change with these new era cars in Suzuka track? Can you somehow?
Yeah, I mean, it will be probably quite different. Also, just the speeds that you reach in certain places. Now, of course, we have our straight line mode before 130R, where in the last few years we never really had like a DRS style effect. Let's see. I mean, honestly, this is normally a track, of course, which is very hard to pass at. Maybe with the way the racing has been this year, you can pass. I I don't need to do as much passing as I had to do in China. But I don't know.
Well, George, it was obviously your teammate Kimi Antonelli's day in the sun 2 weeks ago at the Chinese Grand Prix. How optimistic are you of hitting back straight away here in Suzuka?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he had a great weekend in China.
In China, everyone saw that your front wing closes in 2 different stages. Was it a problem or something intentional? Advantages or disadvantages?
It wasn't intentional, and I don't think it's not an advantage for sure. It's actually a problem, so it's something we're trying to solve. It isn't a straightforward solution, but there is definitely no advantage to that, because when we brake, the front wing is still open. Obviously Kimi had the lock-up. I think this was a contribution to the front wing, so it's definitely not intentional.
Can you help us to understand what happened technically?
No, because I don't actually know. To be honest, I just know it's very challenging for the front wing, because if you compare with the rear wing, when it starts to close, you have the wind to help the rear wing to close. The front wing, it has to battle against the wind, and you need a lot of pressure. And yeah, I don't know if we don't have enough, but it isn't easy to bring the wing up when you're driving 300 in the straight.
Grazie.
Nonetheless, there's a lot of talk when you're winning. I don't know if it was Toto who said that now the politics will start. People are going to try and chip away at your advantage. The FIA have already changed something for qualifying, saying that you can only use 8 instead of 9 megajoules. Is this going to carry on? Are you feeling got at a bit as a team?
That's just how the sport goes, to be honest. Has always been the case. At the end of the day, our team's worked so hard to get ourselves in this position, and the best team should come out on top. And we've obviously had 4 years of struggle, and there have been 2 other teams in those 4 years who have dominated and won. So just because we're sort of back on top, I don't think it's quite right that everybody's trying to slow us down, especially when you're 2 races into a big old season. So things will change. We've already seen it looked like Red Bull was overweight from some things we saw in the press last week. McLaren haven't brought an upgrade to the car. They're still running their Bahrain package. So we shouldn't forget these things. We do have an advantage right now, but I think we've just really hit the ground running, and we've done a great job, and we hope it continues, but there's no guarantee.
I know it's super early, but do you feel that Kimi is your closest rival to the title, or you're in completely different levels?
I think right now, as Mercedes, we have a small advantage over Ferrari and a good advantage over everyone else, but these things change so quickly. We saw in the press last week, it was leaked a bit about Red Bull being a bit overweight, so they could probably improve this quite quickly, and they look fast in Melbourne. McLaren still haven't brought any updates to the car, and they obviously have a Mercedes engine in the back, so we want to make the most of it while we do have this advantage, but we're not taking anything for granted, because the competition is so fierce, and we're sure that Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari will keep pushing us. So yeah, it's too early to even think about a championship.
Can we throw it back to China?
No.
Look, it was a very tough moment for you and the team, with neither you nor Oscar able to make the start. Do you guys fully understand the cause of the problems?
Yep. Yeah. I know. Alongside HPP, I think it took a little bit of time to figure things. What we are thinking of is getting on the podium first of all, and then just returning to winning races. The points then take care of themselves, and we'll see what we can claw back. But and we're confident in that. I want to say I think we're confident as a team, and we believe in ourselves that we've won the last 2 championships, and we won the drivers last year because we could build the best car on the grid, and I'm confident we can get back to doing that this year. So it just takes time. You have to be patient. But I have a good belief in the team, and I think we can have the best car this year.
Just how close to Mercedes are you?
I don't think it's as close as what maybe people think. Obviously, seeing the first few races, we see lots of fightings between the cars, which is actually quite nice. But as soon as you are a little bit suboptimal with these cars, you lose a lot of lap time. So our only chance to stay with them is to annoy them in the first few laps. But as soon as they get free air, then they've shown their real pace in the last race. And I think there's still these 4 or 5 tenths that we've seen throughout these first two races. So it's still a significant advantage. But yeah, I mean, that doesn't discourage me. And again, we have some things in the pipeline. We've got to focus on ourselves, not trying to overdo, because it's never good in these situations, and then we'll see where that brings us.
The gap between you and Mercedes appears to be a little bigger in qualifying than it is in the race. Do you think the energy recharge changes for qualifying here at Suzuka will bring you closer to them?
I don't think it will be a game changer. I think it will be pretty similar, apart from for the driver, where maybe a little bit less lift and coast, which is, I think, a good thing. I think for qualifying there are still some changes that needs to be done to make sure that we can push at the maximum whatever the limit of the car is. But at the moment, so far, for the first 2 races, it was more about managing everything properly in qualifying rather than the actual flat-out push that we were used to in Q3 in the past year. So there's still some fine-tuning to be done on that. But I don't think that this particular change will be a game changer for this weekend.
Charles, on that subject then, of tweaks that can be made for qualifying, what would you do if you had the power to improve things? What would your suggestions be?
Whatever solution that helps us to push at the maximum those cars, because that's what I loved. I mean, that's what I love about this sport, really, is when you get to Q3 and that you have the maximum pressure on you to deliver at best at that moment, and that you try and do a lap that you haven't done before. And at the moment, this is not possible, because every time you do something that you haven't done before, then...
So, Kimi, could you just give me a little bit of insight into how crazy your life has been in these last 2 weeks since your maiden Grand Prix win?
Yeah, it's been crazy, but I've been enjoying the moment. It's been good fun, and but at the same time, yeah, just move the focus very quickly onto this weekend, because obviously, you know, China was incredible. You know, winning Shanghai was probably the best day of my life so far. So yeah, but we still got 20 races left. So just wanna keep the momentum going, and hopefully we can achieve something great this weekend as well.
Thank you. Good luck.
Hi Kimi, congratulations for China. Can you just talk me through some of the feelings and reactions that you got from friends and family, and yourself as well, reflecting on that amazing moment when you stood on the podium at the top step?
Yeah, definitely. I had a lot of nice messages, you know, a lot of support, and definitely coming back home, seeing my whole family was a great moment. Seeing my mom, my sister, obviously my dad was there with me, but you know, seeing the rest of the family was great. And my friends made me a surprise as well. They actually were at my house when I landed, so it was super nice. And yeah, and also I took a little bit of time for myself to analyze and realize what happened. But yeah, it was great. It was a great week. You know, managed to recharge a bit the batteries and do the preparation ahead of this weekend.
When did you make the switch last week from celebrating and everything that you just told us about to okay, we have another weekend in Japan, it will be a very good opportunity to win again?
Well, definitely I had a couple of days where I enjoyed you know, the moment, but then very soon I flew to the UK, did a couple of days there, did simulator, and started working already on Japan. So that was the moment where I said, okay, now it's time to think about Suzuka, because obviously it's really good momentum. The car is super quick.
Russell, he says he's not thinking about the championship yet, or at all, because the Red Bull's overweight, because McLaren haven't brought any upgrades yet, and so it could all go to life. So does he know something about your upgrade package that you don't? Or that we don't?
I mean, you know, our upgrades in the past have been strong, obviously, and I think we're optimistic that we can turn things around, hopefully, and I think we've proven we can do that. It is a massive gap to close, though. I think especially, not that I've done any races, but in race trim, even in the sprint race in China, the gap is up to a second a lap that we're lacking. So, even if we bring some of the upgrades we had in 2023 that vaulted us towards the front of the grid, we need more than one of those to close the gap. So I think we're learning all the time, and hopefully the gap does close, but we need to find quite a lot from various areas.
So just as a logical follow-up, sorry, did the team focus too much on the championship last year? Why have they made this mistake?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just a very different set of rules. Obviously the engines themselves, like that is one of the areas where we're still trying to catch up. We don't have as much understanding as we would ideally like, and that is where a lot of lap time is generated, especially in qualifying at the moment. And then with the car itself, I don't think we sacrificed this year by trying to win the championship last year. It wasn't like we were developing the whole way through the year. We're pretty bold in when we switched to this year's car as well. So it's nothing to do with kind of lack of prioritization. It's just that we haven't got it quite as right as some of the others, and now we need to catch up.
Is it a blessing that now we've got 1 month break, that you have with the team time to kind of figure out what's the problem and work on it, or how do you see it?
I think it's just nice for everyone to have a bit of time to fully focus on developing the car, and just a bit of extra time to understand things. I think we've already kind of identified where we want to go and how we want to improve things. Now we just need the time to be able to do it. So I think everyone's probably going to be in a similar boat with that. Everyone's going to be using these extra few weeks now to speed up development or get as much development done as they can. But I think we already know what we lack, where we lack it, and now it's just about how we achieve it.
Do you already know when you are bringing the update?
Not exactly, no, but hopefully in these weeks off we can achieve a lot.
Hi Oscar, after you left the first 2 race weekends quite disappointed, what has to happen here in Suzuka that you can leave Japan with a smile?
Start the race, that would probably help, but I don't know. I think for me the first 2 races are what they've been. For me, just trying to put in good performances, that's all I can do. I've been happy with my qualifying so far this year, and I think that's been the biggest thing in my control, and I feel like I've kind of adapted to the new cars and the new rules, and my understanding of the rules I think is good. It's just that we've not had any chances to show it in the race, and I think clearly the picture is that we're behind Mercedes and Ferrari. So all I can do is just try my best, and when I'm on track, show what I can do.
Well, Carlos, no, positive in China. I know it's been a difficult start to the year, but positive to get some points. This weekend, what's your kind of feeling? Is it going to be back to just another difficult weekend unless something works in your favour? Where you're going to be in a certain number of races' time once all the updates and the change you need to make? Is it clear enough for you?
No, because we don't know the amount of upgrades our rivals are going to bring. So we know what we are going to bring in the next 6 months, let's say.
Yeah.
We know what we can find from our car in terms of weight and downforce. But if the others find the equivalent of that, you're going to stay still, no? So it's all relative. F1 is all relative to what the others bring, and we will see if what we are about to do the next few months is enough to join the midfield and hopefully even beat them one day.
Good to get off the mark with some points in China. I think it's probably known, I think the team have admitted that the car has a bit of weight to lose. Once that weight comes off, is it basically a good car? And has James asked you to cut your hair to save weight as well?
Yeah, also.
Is this another haircut?
It's all part of the strategy. But no, honestly, we have a lot of weight to lose. I think it's no secret. Would it be a good car? I think no. I think we can do better. I think apart from the weight, I believe this team has the potential to design and produce a car that is much better than what we've done
for the start of the year. We had many issues on the production side, as you guys know, that delayed the production of the car, it put the car in a bit of overweight, or even more higher overweight than what we expected. So the reality is that we can all do a lot better, and as a team we're not all gonna only take weight out of the car, we need to gain downforce and get a better balance in it, and that's all of the targets for this year, to improve all those areas.
Sergio, welcome to Suzuka. I don't want to bring up the past, but there was the unfortunate incident in China with your teammate. Could you just talk me through what the debrief was like and whether there's any rules of engagement now between you two?
No, it was all fine. You know, we moved on straight away. I think it was a really good day for the team, completing the race with both cars, and now it's all about moving forward from that. You know, making sure that we are able to progress from there.
Here, incredible track. What's the mindset coming into the weekend? Is it all just useful kilometerage and testing time to get the car? Finally, a couple of tests down, 2 races down. What's your return to F1 been like? How's the neck holding up? How's the body? How you feel?
It's all good. It just feels everything fairly normal, fairly natural. The neck got used to it. I mean, it's not that we're going that fast at the moment as well. So in that regard, it's all good.
Well, Isaac, you were very philosophical last year before your Red Bull promotion that getting the promotion, you called it potentially scary. Are you surprised by how well you performed in the first 2 races? You're the best driver in the second seat for quite a while at Red Bull.
I've done 2 races, so let's see how it keeps going. But I don't know, it's definitely a hard challenge, but at the same time I really feel at home so far. So no, it's been going well. Obviously Max is very, very fast, always impressive, delivers every lap. But yeah, I'm trying to stay there.
We're all just still trying to figure out where sort of Red Bull are. Are you 3rd quickest car?
No.
4th quickest car?
Yeah, more about like 4th, 5th.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not that bad, is it?
Yeah, it's not that bad.
You qualified 3rd in Australia.
Yeah, but it was in Australia. And then in the race we were nowhere on both occasions. So, yeah.
How long will it take, do you think, to fix things?
Time. I don't know, a few months, a year, who knows.
I'm sure
Let's
it won't
see.
be. Sure
Yeah.
it won't be. Okay,
that's it.
Do you think that you have a difficult car to drive, a bit inconsistent corner by corner, and do you have also weight problem with it or not?
Yeah, a few. Well, not the lightest car, that's for sure. But no, it's...
How difficult do you think it is going to be to make that next step? Because you've obviously done everything right so far, and you've got initially kind of got the car to the finish and you're making progress, but to make that next step is trickier, isn't it?
It's in this sport, you know, it's everyone is developing, everyone is improving, but I think for us as a new team, you know, in theory we should be able to hopefully make bigger steps, and you know, the gap at the moment to the front is quite big. So hopefully we can close that down a bit more quicker, but I think it's then going to be the final steps, those final jumps, tenths is going to be more tricky than the initial part. But yeah, we're working on it. There's many areas we know we can improve, and we will in the future. So at least we have a clear direction.
Have you figured out a sort of balance between pushing and generating recharge now?
Still, the biggest fun thing is still, you know, getting the most out of the car in terms of the cornering. You know, the right lines, being on the limit, braking late, good exits. But yes, there's an extra element to it now. Gear choices, the way you feed in the power. But that's still, at least for us, is quite minimal. But it's still the biggest gain is just pushing the car to the limit.
Okay, and talking about the limit, they've dropped the limit now from 9 megajoules to 8 in qualifying, which maybe will mean a bit less super clipping. They might mean a bit slower lap times, but is that a trade-off that maybe is understandable?
I guess we'll find out. It's something that I just learned recently about the change. It's quite last minute, but I would personally take the faster lap time because that's just the nature we have. But if it helps kind of things to be a bit more consistent, and helps people from the outside to understand better, yeah, I guess that's...
So Arvid, put me in your shoes. What's it like to be about to race at Suzuka for the very first time and in a Formula One car?
It's very exciting. I mean, I've grown up watching this race on the TV, you know, dreaming of being able to drive this circuit. It's only visited by F1. You don't go in the junior categories. So yeah, it's very cool to get the opportunity to drive it. I ran it yesterday, and it looked amazing. I think the circuit is very special. I think it's cool for there to be. I don't think there's that many tracks that really have this old school nature anymore. You know, there's a lot of the sort of sport is going in a direction of more tarmac and all this kind of, you know, runoffs and stuff. But to have a track that is so fast, you know, punishing if you make a mistake, and also that because it's so quick, that almost element of having to switch off your brain a little bit because your mind's almost telling you it's not possible, but you know it is, and just driving feels very pure. And you know, that's what I remember when I started karting when I was, you know, 5, 6, 7. You don't think, you just go. And I think that's what it's going to feel like this week, and I'm very excited for that.
Obviously, Australia was great. China, a bit of a struggle. What did you take from last weekend?
You'd start having higher expectations.
Well, who knows? You know, I think Miami's far away now, and I imagine most teams are going to bring upgrades to that weekend. Hopefully, our one is potent and can get us a bit closer, but realistically, you know, we are on the back foot. We're starting quite far behind, so it's got to be pretty big to even catch up to the midfield. So we will see. I think at the moment we're just focusing on ourselves and making sure we focus on them big ticket items.
And how do you explain, I mean, teams who are in, let's put it this way, a spot of bother, yourselves, Red Bull, Aston Martin.
I would happily be in Red Bull's spot of bother. That's not a bad spot of bother to be.
Okay, well, they were all in a... McLaren didn't even start the last race, like you didn't, so they're in a spot of bother as well. How do you communicate that to your fans in a way that they can understand? And have you thought about that yet?
Not too much. I would say that it's part of the racing. It's part of what makes motorsport so exciting in my opinion. You know, you have your highs and your lows. Last year we're coming from a high, and of course we wish we were a bit further ahead than we are right now. But I guess that's the same as football, no? You can have some results are not your year, but you still stick with them, stick with us, and it might take a little bit longer than we wanted to, but we'll get back.
Gabby, hi. Massive news coming out of the Audi camp this week that Jonathan Wheatley will depart the team after only 10 months at the helm. How did you take the news? How did you find out? And what's the feeling in the team with Mattia Binotto now taking over?
How has the prep gone for this session as well? How much sim time have you had?
Yeah, quite a bit. I didn't know till last Thursday, so I was only in the sim last Friday before I flew to Japan, but I'd already done some Suzuka earlier in the week, so yeah, I've done a couple hundred laps by now, and yeah, obviously very familiar with the circuit and feeling well prepared.
What have the team kind of told you or given you as a task list for tomorrow, really?
I think from my side, you know, it's just of course keep it clean and do some laps, give good feedback. You know, I don't think anything special from my side. I think, you know, more importantly, we're gonna try and do as many laps as possible. You know, of course, we have some things to test, things to try as always, but you know, we want to do a bunch of laps.
Hey Jack, Honda home race, difficult situation for Aston Martin. There could be easier circumstances for an FP1. Still, with what feeling do you go into the FP1 tomorrow?
I mean, I have a good feeling. You know, from my side, it's a great opportunity, and you know, every time I jump in the car, I'm very excited. So you know, regardless of how the first two races have been for us as a team, you know, I'm super excited to be driving on track.
What can you personally do to help the team develop their issues?
I think from my side, a lot, you know, of course, bringing it back to the simulator, you know, of course, having a different perspective as well, having never driven the car, so, you know, I'm not...
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're breaking down everything the drivers had to say as they arrived at the Japanese Grand Prix. one of the most iconic races in the Formula One calendar. Now, Suzuka is not just any track. This is a circuit that drivers love and adore. High-speed corners, technical sections, and absolutely no margin for error. So coming into this weekend, you can already feel the respect, the excitement from everyone in the paddock. Pretty much every driver touched on one thing: the Suzuka is special. You had guys like Max Verstappen talking about how much he enjoys the flow of the circuit, especially the high-speed SS in Sector 1. He sounded confident, calm, and very much like a driver who knows he can dominate here. But seeing the circumstances with his car, it's going to be a little bit of challenging, let's say like that, because last race he had a bit of problem with his car, but he just said that it's all good and okay. Then Lewis spoke about the history of Suzuka, how it's a track that demands precision and rewards experience. Yeah, he wasn't overly hyped, but you could tell he's focused on maximizing performance. He also mentioned that Ferrari and he himself are working very hard to maintain the consistency that the team has had, but also trying to bring the best upgrades to the car so they can compete in front with the Mercedes and maybe even win a race. Who knows? We will have to wait and see what's going to happen at Suzuka. And Charles Leclerc highlighted how satisfying it is to nail a lap here. He made it clear the Ferrari is pushing to stay competitive, especially on tracks like this where driver skill really comes into play. Yeah, with these cars, the driver skill is really comes to play, because you need to control the battery, you need to control how consistent you're going to be, you need to control also the time management and things like that. Now, one thing that stood out across multiple interviews, everyone is already thinking long term. The champion came across, like Lando Norris, came across super motivated. He talked about consistency and how important it is to keep scoring strong results early in the season. You can tell that he's aiming to stay in that top 5. Even though they had a lot of problems in the couple of races, they're still hoping that they will be competitive in the high level. So we will just need to wait to see what McLaren has under their sleeves. Meanwhile, Max kept it simple, focused on execution, no unnecessary risks. That's classic Max. He knows if everything goes clean, he's the benchmark. So Max is like more. Max is not like a free will, like Max is like more like a direct technical person. So he like does the math, gets in the track, he doesn't care about anything else, drives away. If he has a good car, then he wins. If he has a shitty car, then he will like definitely be top 5. So either way, it's Max Verstappen, one of the best drivers that Formula One history has ever seen. Period. Even though, like the thing that happened between him and Hamilton in early days, like Hamilton's championship got stolen, but it is what it is. Like that's the past, but it still sticks inside. Hamilton, on the other hand, leaned more into development, so improving the car, understanding the weakness, and building momentum over the season. So he clearly wants to upgrade the car in a level that he will feel like that confident that he can push the car to above the limit. Let's say like that, push the car above the limit, and then make him happy about that. A big topic was obviously how cars are feeling heading into Suzuka. So Leclerc suggests that Ferrari could be competitive, but it really depends on qualifying track position. Here is massive. So Saturday will be the key. On the other hand, both of Mercedes drivers, Kimi Antonelli and George Russell, were very, very confident in their interview with their words. They tend to feel that relief by winning two Grand Prix in a row, 1-2. Yeah, that's a boost of confidence. So they tend to see this also. They also said that it's a possibility that they can win Japanese Grand Prix the same that they won the two other ones. Norris mentioned that McLaren has been improving, but Suzuka will be a real test of their aerodynamics efficiency, especially through the fast corners. And on the other hand, Hamilton hinted that Mercedes is still chasing that perfect balance, not struggling, but not fully comfortable either. So overall, no one is fully showing their cards yet, but you can tell everyone's cautious. Across the board, drivers kept repeating a few key focus points like clean qualifying laps, time management during the race, avoiding mistakes on every step, and very unforgiving track. Suzuka punishes you even with the smallest errors, and the drivers know that. Even the more relaxed personalities in the paddocks were clearly locked in when talking about execution. So, yeah, it's scary, but it's fun. So that's why everyone loves it. This is something I always find interesting, the mental side. So some drivers arrived smiling, interacting with the fans, enjoying the moment. Other headphones on straight into the garage and no distraction. Verstappen, on the other hand, looked completely in control, like it's just another weekend to execute. Hamilton had the calm, experienced energy, came with all the smile and things like that, interacting with the fans, blah blah blah. Yeah. Some drivers mentioned how unpredictable weather in Japan can be. Others talked about how important Friday practice will be for the setup, and a few hinted that the upgrades could play a role this weekend. Yeah. So overall, if I had to sum up the interviews in one sentence: respect for the track, cautious optimism, and full focus on execution. No one is underestimating Suzuka. No one is overconfident. So everyone is cautious. Everyone is scary, and everyone is happy at the same time. So that's what Suzuka does to you. So yeah, guys, that's everything from the drivers' interviews ahead of these Japanese Grand Prix. It's the interviews before the Grand Prix starts. Today is the first day. We just had the press conference and things like that. So yeah, let so yeah. Now it's all about translating those words into performance on the track, whatever they have said. Hopefully, they will keep their words, but they're a little bit scared about it. If you have something to add up, let me know in the comment box what you think and who do you think will win this weekend and which driver sounded the most confident to you. And if you enjoyed this video, you know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.